Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. You have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva, and I'm Cheryl. If this is your first time coming to my channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can receive notifications when I upload videos. And right now I'm going to be uploading every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you are coming back for the second or the third time, I want to say thank you. Make sure that you like this video, and I hope y'all subscribe also if this is your second or third time coming back. So today our conversation is going to be, the topic at hand is we recently voted for a president, and we now have someone new coming into office, and it is Biden, and Trump will be leaving the office. I'm not here to ask anybody who their candidate was. I'm not here to bash either one, the president that is currently in office and the one that will be coming into the office in January. I'm here to say that why are we constantly dividing ourselves by color? So we dealt with a lot of racism recently in our country, and it's this whole black-white issue. And now, if that wasn't enough, we now have divided ourselves again with this, are you on the blue side or are you on the red side? And I'm here to say that I wish all of us was just colorblind so that we wouldn't divide ourselves by race, because I'm telling you, for the most part, this is my belief, that if you met someone and had no idea what color they were, what nationality they were, what their economical status was, and you just got to know the person within, you probably wouldn't have so many biases that you have, or you wouldn't be prevented from interacting and with someone just based on the surface that you see the color. Some people won't even deal with other people once they, see a color. And it's very sad to me. And later on, before I end this video, I'm gonna tell you about a great story that happened to me at my local gym recently. But I'll get back to the topic on hand. Is like, are you on the red side? Are you on the blue side? And I'm here to tell you that it really doesn't matter. I think that when it comes to voting a president, none of us should be on the red side or the blue side. We should be on the side of the candidate that is going to do the best and the most for our country, for all people. And I grew up in the Bronx, and in the Bronx, like, they always used to say that New York was the melting pot, because it brought people from all different backgrounds, nationalities, races, and we all just blended and merged together as one, and it was just a great place to be. And I think that's how the world needs to be. We're a big melting pot. There are all different nationalities and races, and we can all get along. And I think the way that we need to correct this wrong that is going on right now when it comes to voting in a president, I don't know who wrote the criteria on who and how you can run for office. And I'm going to tell you why. When I looked it up, for the most part, the only criteria that you need to have is you have to be 35 years of age or over, and you have to be born in the United States. And if anybody finds any more criterias, please feel free to put it down in the comments. But that's what I saw for the most part. You have to be 35, and you have to be born in the U.S., and you get to submit your own medical records from your doctor for review, and then you get to submit your taxes. And I guess in some cases you get to submit the taxes if you want to. And I said to myself, that's a joke. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's one of the most, so it's like, what do we do? Now we have that a vaccine is coming out. It may be ready as soon as January. I don't know. I keep hearing different dates. And then to the rest of the world, it'll be ready in April. Some people saying it's a conspiracy. They're not going to take it. They'll let people take it first, see if those people survive the vaccine. And then if so, they're thinking, okay, I'll take it in 2022, but not 2021 when it first come out. So it's just a whole lot of craziness over the vaccine, over the pandemic, and over how all of that was handled. What I want to say about that is I'm praying for the world. I'm praying that this whole coronavirus gets resolved, that if there is truly a vaccine out there that can eradicate this or just lessen the amount of deaths and the amount of cases of COVID that fired the most people while he was in office. Right now, he's saying that he wants to do a lawsuit, and I think he has filed for lawsuits to determine about these votes. I do think it's over. The votes are in. It's Biden's turn now, and I say and I pray that Biden steps in and turns some things around. I had to look down at my notes. I just wanted to make sure that I stayed on track and kind of telling y'all everything that I wanted to discuss. But I'll just reel it back in and wrap it up and say that maybe we as a people need to look at the qualifications for this job, and maybe if we revamp the qualifications, we will see a change in the candidates that we have to choose from when our next 4 years come up and we have to do our next election. Couple more things I want to say to everyone is, one, I want to tell you about the story that happened to me at my local gym. One morning I pulled up, and there's not too many people going to the gym right now, which again, I understand, because everyone's afraid on what they should and should not be doing in these times. And, you know, it was said on the news that the gym is a cesspool of germs and getting coronavirus, but actually at my local gym, they're doing a lot of cleaning. You have to keep your mask on. So it's a great opportunity for me because I have the time. It's like I have this whole big gym to myself because no one's really there, and I'm just teaching myself how to do weights and all of that. So I'm having a good time. But as I was walking into the gym, I happened to have on red leggings that day and a red top, and this guy turned to me, he said, "Oh, you're red?" And that's what prompted this whole conversation that I had with you today. Are you red or are you blue? And I just looked because I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know what he was talking about. I'm like, am I red? And then he started talking about Republicans, Democrats, and the whole election and all of that. And then it triggered in my head. I said, okay, I see what he's trying to ask me. And so I just said to him, I said, listen, I really don't do politics like that. I do vote. I just want to be clear with everybody. I do vote, but I don't talk politics with people because already, if you're not agreeing or you're not saying that you're on their candidate side, it already starts this big debate, and I'm not really here for it, especially on the days I'm trying to go to the gym and de-stress and work out. So he said to me, you know, are you red? And I just said to him, listen, I'm not red, I'm not blue, I'm on God's side. And I really truly believe that God's will be done either way, right? So, you know, and then so he just looked at me. I think he was kind of shocked by my response, and, you know, wasn't mean or nasty or anything. He just went in the gym and I went in the gym, and he did his thing and I did mine. So every morning that I went, and when I go, because I guess, you know, people have a habit, they go at the certain same time, like all the time. And so I go at a certain time. So I went, I saw him again. He said hello. I said hello. That was it. But I bring up this story because as I continued to go and I would see him, we started to speak more and more. You know, first he asked me about my party line side for, you know, the presidential election. And then he just started saying hello to me. Next thing you know, he was inviting me to go to yoga. And this got nothing to do with like trying to date me or anything like that. Just all friendly conversation and talk. He started telling me I should come to yoga and tell me the benefits of yoga. The next time I saw him, he started telling me where the farmer's market was and how I could get all of these good fruits and vegetables that would nourish my mind, body, and soul. And I just think to myself, I smiled, and I always speak to him and we have our conversations, and I enjoy our conversations, and I'm grateful for all the local places he told me where to find good fruits and vegetables in my town. And my real thought to myself was, we probably would never have gotten to this level of chit chat, because we're not having long conversations. We're both in the gym to work out, but I don't think we would have got there had I stood outside that first day that we met and had this conversation about blue or red. And that's why I'm trying to say, color doesn't matter. If we leave color off the table and we all just start to just see the person from within, I think the whole world would just be a better place. Like I said, I think I said it earlier in the video, I wish we was all just colorblind. So I just thought that was a great story of how I deflected and did not have a conversation about which political candidate I was going to vote for, because as I stated, everybody should have the right to their personal choice, and within that right, I don't want to knock anybody for the candidate that they want to choose, and I don't want anybody to knock me for mine. So I thought that was just a great story to share, and I just hope that as we all move forward in the world, we learn to agree to disagree and not be rude to each other, and not start thinking that just because a person chooses this over that, you attach all of these other labels to them based upon that one particular topic. It's just crazy. I like to end the video with this and say that a lot of people, we're very divided about this whole election, and very divided about why, maybe this candidate, like our number 45, even got elected in the first place, and so forth and so on. Once again, I'm not here to bash anyone, but I will say this. In my mind, I feel like that if it wasn't a number 45, the person who was elected to be the 45th president, I honestly don't think we would be seeing and experiencing what we are experiencing now, and that is our first ever female vice president. I think the world would not have been ready for her to be the vice president had we not seen number 45 in this role. I think it opened the door to say that, you know what, it's time, it's okay, we can allow a woman into office. I don't think the world was ready when Hillary was running, but I think we have experienced so much as a people over these last 4 years that it was just time for some change. And I'm so glad and so excited that we got change and we're seeing a female vice president. So much has happened in my lifetime that I didn't even think we would ever get to see or experience. It was very nice and so exciting to see Obama in office for 8 years. Wish my grandparents would have been alive to see this, but my parents are. So I'm grateful and thankful for that. And my son, it's so crazy. He was born into like the whole Obama time frame and era. So all he knows, kind of like him seeing a president that looks like him in office, I don't know how much of a big deal it was to him, because he kind of like he lived it most of his life. My son is 15. So, but for me and my parents, it was just really a major, major, major big deal. And now we're seeing a female vice president. And I think it's just a major big deal for all women. I think that females in the workplace, we get paid less for doing the same job. We get harder, what do I want to say? What words do I want to use? We are looked at differently when we express ourselves and we speak in these different managerial roles when we're at work, or even when we're just at work, period. It's like if a woman gets emotional, it's 100 other labels attached to her emotions. Like, she's just, she's mean, she's this, she's that. But if a man gets emotional at a job, and this is a whole nother avenue that I'm not really going to go down right now, he's passionate. That's just him. He loves his job. But when a woman does that same thing, there's different negative labels attached to that female in that managerial role, or just in her role at the job, period. So I think some great things are going to happen now that we're going to have a female vice president. Hopefully changes will come for the women and the ladies now that we have a voice in such a high level position. I'm happy to see, what our life is gonna look like over the next 4 years by having, this difference, of having a lady in such a high role. I think a lot of changes, and hopefully a lot of healthcare changes and just job changes will come about as a result of her being in this role. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So everyone, I'm going to close out there. I want to say thank you if you made it to the end of my video here. And if you liked everything I talked about, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. Listen, everyone, regardless of your candidate that you chose, much love. I still love you both. Whether you chose red, whether you chose blue. But I think that, and I'm very serious about this, I think moving forward, if we want to see different candidates running when we have the next 4 years come up, we need to look at the qualifications for this role. And in addition to that, what was I going to say? I think in addition to that, I think that, no matter if your candidate won or did not win, we all have to just embrace the person that is in the role for the 4 years that they're in the role, so that we all can see the change that we want to see. So again, guys, thank you. Goodbye. Have a good night. And listen, come back again. Stay tuned. I'm going to upload another video on Friday. Thanks.